YouTube, it's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we have some more interesting news as the World Boxing Council, better known as the WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman, just 2 days ago, he stated that the undisputed champion at lightweight was none other than Australian star boxer, newly unified lightweight world champion George Kambosos Jr., who's 20 wins, no losses, no draws, 10 wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, 5'9", with a 70-inch arm reach. He stated in an interview he did that George Kambosos Jr. was the official undisputed lightweight world champion. And when Mauricio Sulaiman, the president of the WBC, was asked about Devin Haney, undefeated lightweight WBC world champion superstar boxer Devin the Dream Haney, who is 27 wins, no loss, no draws, 15 wins by way of knockout, 23 years of age, 5'8" with a 72-inch arm reach. Mauricio Sulaiman, he stated that Devin Haney was the Pride champion. Okay, he wasn't the official WBC champion. He said that title belonged to George Kambosos Jr. This is just what he said less than 48 hours ago. Let's listen to what Mauricio Sulaiman had to say.
Lightweight title. He's a Pride WBC champion. Kambosos defeated Lopez, who defeated Lomachenko. So I do believe he's due recognition as undisputed champion. Devin Haney is the WBC lightweight title. He's a Pride WBC champion. Kambosos defeated.
So he's the Pride. He's the Pride WBC champion. Okay, he's not the official WBC champion. And so Mauricio Sulaiman, he got a lot of kickback, a lot of unpositive feedback after he stated these words and called Devin Haney the Pride WBC champion. And even Devin Haney himself, he took to social media and he stated that if I'm the junior WBC champion, then mandate I face off against George Kambosos Jr. for undisputed. If I'm the junior champion and he's undisputed, then I want to push for you and petition for you to mandate that I face off against George Kambosos Jr. Devin Haney, he just put that up on social media, okay? Well, now you have Mauricio Sulaiman trying to backtrack, and now you have Mauricio Sulaiman trying to do essentially damage control, and now Mauricio Sulaiman is taken to social media, and he's talking about that Devin Haney is the official WBC champion, okay? And he says that this is what Mauricio Sulaiman had to say. He says, I'm proud. I'm so proud of our WBC lightweight champion, right at the real Devin Haney, okay? Who he says who has an exemplary journey, okay? Exemplary journey in the WBC. And then he puts his accomplishments. Devin Haney became WBC World Youth Champion, WBC International Champion, WBC Silver Champion, WBC Interim Champion, and now Devin Haney is the WBC World Champion, okay? He said defeating Gamboa, Linares, and Joseph Jojo Diaz in 2021, he says in 2022 will be a sensational year for Devin Haney, okay? And so, you know, Devin Haney responded, climbed the ladder, okay? But now Mauricio Sulaiman is now claiming now that Devin Haney, just a day after, right? So Mauricio Sulaiman, he understands all of the feedback, all of the kickback he got. And so this is what he put on his social media. You see it right there, right? The WBC world champion, okay? He said that, you know, he's the champion, so on and so forth. He climbed the ladder. 4 titles, right? So now Mauricio Sulaiman is trying to clean up what he initially put out there in the public, that George Kambosos Jr. is the undisputed lightweight world champion. Well, George Kambosos Jr., who changed his status on his social media, as you can see right there, he changed his status to undisputed. So if George Kambosos Jr. is the undisputed lightweight world champion, as Mauricio Sulaiman just stated less than 48 hours ago, then what does that make Devin Haney? Where does that place Devin Haney as the lightweight champion? Okay, is Devin Haney the interim champion? Because you stated that he's the world champion. So he can't be the world champion and George Kambosos Jr. be the world champion. Okay, there's only one world champion. If you're the super champion, the world champion, and the official WBC champion at lightweight, then that's just what it is. That means that George Kambosos Jr. is not undisputed, as we already know. But Mauricio Sulaiman, he's trying to essentially, have his sanction body represented by as many people as possible. It's all boils down to sanctioning fees, okay? Because it gets paid these sanctioning fees. So at the end of the day, we know that there's only 6 undisputed 4 major sanctioned belt holders in the history of the sport of boxing. Number 1 was Bernard Hopkins. Number 2 is Jermaine Taylor, who beat Bernard Hopkins to become number 2. Number 3 was Terrence Bud Crawford at junior welterweight. Number 4 was Oleksandr Usyk at cruiserweight. Number 5 was Josh Taylor at junior welterweight. He became the 2nd junior welterweight to hold all 4 major sanctioned belts and the Ring Magazine belt, which he'll defend in February 26th to be exact, against undefeated United Kingdom superstar boxer Jack Cottrell. And then at number 6, you have 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer who's currently the undisputed super middleweight champion is Saul Canelo Alvarez, okay? So how could George Kambosos Jr., once again, as you see, George Kambosos Jr., his status says undisputed lightweight world champion, okay? How could he possibly be the undisputed lightweight world champion? And how could Mauricio Sulaiman state that George Kambosos Jr. is the undisputed lightweight world champion if we know that he hasn't collected the WBC title from Devin Haney? Now, prior to Mauricio Sulaiman making these statements, okay, that Devin Haney was the Pride champion and George Kambosos was the undisputed champion, after George Kambosos, shocked the world by defeating former unified lightweight world champion superstar boxer Teofimo Lopez November 27th in Madison Square Garden, New York. After he did so, George Kambosos Jr., he stated that he knew he had to go through Devin Haney to officially become undisputed, and that's what he wanted to do. And he cited that he wanted to create history. Okay, it was about cementing and securing his legacy. And then he stated that he knew he had to go through Devin Haney to do so. Okay, and he stated that it wasn't about the money. Well, now after Mauricio Sulaiman consistently makes these comments, as he's inconsistent, and states that George Kambosos Jr. is the undisputed champion, well, now George Kambosos Jr., he started to claim that in recent reports and recent interviews that undisputed is just simply not that important anymore, okay? And then he stated that, on his status that he's undisputed. Now, been there and done that. He's already achieved becoming undisputed. This is the confusion that Mauricio Sulaiman, the World Boxing Council, has introduced to the sport of boxing once they introduced this unnecessary franchise champion into the sport of boxing, where they initially stated you cannot win or lose the franchise title and that you had to petition to become franchise, and it was a acknowledgement and recognition for your past accomplishments, okay? So if that's the case, we know Canelo Alvarez, they first awarded this title to Canelo Alvarez. Then 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 3-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko, he petitioned to be franchised after he first fought for the vacant WBC title at lightweight that was vacated by 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia. And Mikey Garcia moved on. He fought Luke Campbell, Olympic gold medalist, British superstar title contender, for the vacant WBC title. He won the title, and then he petitioned the WBC, who obliged him and gave him the franchise title, and he never defended the title. He immediately became franchise, in which Devin Haney, he then became the WBC official regular champion, okay? Now, with that said, he has mandatories. He pays sanctioning fees. Then after, like I told you guys, that you couldn't win or lose the title. Well, then they stated that Teofimo Lopez, who only had 15 fights, 23 years of age, okay, had one big fight in his career against Richard Comey, in which he won the IBF title. The fight before he fought Vasil Lomachenko, they obliged him, according to reports, Teofimo Lopez Sr. and Jr., they stated that the WBC approached them about being franchised, and the WBC is saying that they approached them about being franchised, okay? And that they wanted, if they be victorious, the franchise title would switch hands, and that Teofimo Lopez would become the franchise champion. Well, he beats Lomachenko via unanimous decision, and they oblige him, and he becomes a franchise champion, okay? So with that said, now they're changing the rules as they go, okay? And it's just causing more and more confusion. So Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney, they went viral, discussing a possible showdown to officially prove who's the franchise champion. So Now Teofimo Lopez in his first title defense against IBF mandatory challenger George Kambosos Jr., he loses via split decision to George Kambosos Jr. Now, what's interesting here is that George Kambosos Jr. stated that he didn't petition for the franchise title because he knew he had to go through Devin Haney to be the official undisputed champion, and it was about creating history and his legacy, okay? So the WBC, they saying when in the same interview, he states that Devin Haney in his post-fight after defeating Joseph Jojo Diaz that he had no interest in becoming a franchise champion. And so Mauricio Sulaiman is stating that, well, that's a good because you have to petition to be the franchise champion. So if you have to petition for it, and George Kambosos Jr. said he never petitioned for it because he knew he always had to go through Devin Haney to become undisputed, then how are you placing this franchise title on George Kambosos Jr., who never petitioned for the franchise title? So now they're trying to backtrack. And they're trying to say, well, Devin Haney is our official champion, is what he put on social media because of all the negative feedback that they received. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Oh, it is your boy Jada Kiss. Make sure you check out Blue Blood Sports TV. It's going down.